All right, we're back here at Hollywood Unlocked, and I have a guest in the studio. We're going to get into a lot of his background, his music, and what makes him the ghost that people love. Or he's the ghost that loves me. That's his name. Welcome, Clayton. Ghostluvme. Let's get into where the artist name comes from first. Who named you that?
Myself, just because I had like a lot of other names I released music under just for like years, just because it was more like it was a hobby for a while, and then just stuff started to pick up, but I still wasn't really happy with the name I was using because it just didn't have anything to do with like me, and then I just wanted something that kind of like my family was murdered when I was 10, so like, well, my mom and two sisters, so I wanted to put something that kind of like honored them in a way. So it was gonna be Ghostluvme. I don't know, just like something original because I never heard that name. So just good, like when you search social media and stuff to like, oh, I can't find this, it's taken at all. So I'm gonna grab this real quick, and then it kind of made sense. But then like Ghostluvme sounded like chunky, you know, like when you say it out loud. So I just changed it to Ghostluvme, and then everybody just started calling me Ghost, and I have no idea why, because I've never introduced myself that way ever.
So you're the most colorful person I think I've ever had in the studio. Do you like is bright colors your thing? Like, is this your thing?
No, I just like stuff that goes together. So I mean, everything about the outfit goes together. I mean, at least I think so. Hopefully, you know.
No, I mean, it's definitely unique. I love the fact that, is that like a cool version of Bambi? Because you know what's funny? In the other room, I'm manifesting an Emmy. So I have a fake Emmy on my manifestation wall with a mini skirt on it, and I call her Emma. Oh, it says, hey, though.
Yeah. Hey, doe, let's go.
All right, so you're originally from where?
Broward County, really. Like, I mean, I was born in Pennsylvania, but not like I was there only for like 8 months and then bounced around to a bunch of other states and then finally ended up in like Plantation, Florida. But it's weird to say I'm from Plantation, Florida. It just doesn't sound right.
I mean,
so.
especially being white.
Yeah.
You shouldn't say you want to play from Plantation.
Nah,
Yeah.
I kind of learned that really quickly. So I was like,
That's probably why they call you Ghost too, because Casper was white.
there you go. That could be a reason.
All right, so you're from Broward, Florida, where I just got a spot out there, and now you live here in LA.
I lived in LA, but now I live in Atlanta now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how you go from Florida and I could see Florida and Atlanta being very similar, right? In terms of
No, they're not at all.
I mean, lifestyle different, but music, culture. I mean, like they both have. There's some distinction in the industry, at least. No,
they're just not really like. I would say Atlanta has a lot more of an established music scene by far. I think the music scene's just starting to get established in Florida, and it's not like, and it's more for like reggaeton and stuff like that. It's not.
Yeah, Trick Daddy, Trina, Flo.
I mean, there's been people to come from Florida, but I'm sure throughout the process of them being in the industry, doors were definitely opened by people from other states, either New York or Atlanta or LA or whatever. So it's like you can't really just keep it all Florida and then just like, you know, whereas like Atlanta could keep it all Atlanta and people could put out a bunch of music, you know what I mean? And have no issues. Producers from Atlanta, studios in Atlanta, executives in Atlanta, every single thing that you would need to put out a good tape, every single role can be internalized there. I just don't see that for Florida even right now.
Yeah.
Just based off of what I've seen, and that's just me, a quick glance, because I haven't really been back.
No, everybody's going to agree with you. I mean, So Def, it goes all the way back to Jermaine Dupri. All right, so you came to LA, you went to Atlanta. Why did you choose to be in Atlanta? Is it the music scene? Is that where you feel the most?
You know, it was like at the time I moved out of LA after like the COVID stuff, so it was just weird here with like being under those like restrictions. I'm not really like an indoor person to like stay inside the whole time, so that was kind of hard for me to just be like, all right, stay inside and just wait for things to get different. And then so I moved to Atlanta where I felt like restrictions were less. And
But yeah, Atlanta and Florida didn't believe COVID. I mean,
no,
people were outside.
Not at all. I guess their idea was just everybody's gonna get it and some people are gonna die and that's it.
Wow. Shout out to all y'all out there that lived through it, and shout out to those of you that didn't make it, I guess. Okay. So you mentioned this at the top of the interview before we even got into it, that your mother and a couple of your siblings died.
Yeah.
They died in a murder-suicide, because that was kind of heavy in the way you just kind of said it and kept moving.
Well, yeah, that's what it was. I mean, the guy was, and this is where, I mean, like, there's so many levels to it that, like, I guess still bother me about it. That's why I don't really talk about it too much, because it goes to just, like, even, like, the government that's supposedly well-funded in that area could have easily blocked it with, like, it never should have happened. There would have been a middle rail there that he never would have been able to get over, or at least.
So it was the stepfather?
Down. What?
The guy who did
No,
it?
no relation to me. No, hell no. I'm not that kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a different kind.
But I mean, what relation was he to your family?
Oh, just a random guy. Just
really?
randomly was like, I'm finna take these people out, just on the highway, just with the car.
Really?
He's fleeing the police after beating his girlfriend and almost to death or something. I don't know the whole story, but just he's fleeing, and then he crossed the median of the highway. Keep in mind, there's supposed to be a rail here that stops it. There's no rail that stops it. Goes right across, boom, hits him head on. Wow. Dead. So, yeah, I mean, that's why I say murdered, because obviously it's going to be ruled as like an accident or whatever they're trying to do to like make things look a little bit better, you know, keep the murder rates down or whatever. I don't know why they do that, but at the same time, it's like, you know, that's a murder. He had every intention of killing himself and other people. Mm-hmm. It just so happened to be my family, you know. The car missed other people, and that's just is what it is. So,
and that's where the name Ghostluvme comes from.
Yeah.
And so how did you cope with such a immediate, unplanned loss?
I don't think there is a way to cope with that. I think like you just have to keep moving forward. I mean, it's the only thing. Like, I think a lot of people just, there's no way to, like, if you dwell on it or even think about it too much, it's over with. You know what I mean? There's not going to be nobody's going to be able to really help you or relate to you. There's not going to be anybody to go to for advice for that. How many people kind of even went through something like that, that bad, all at once at such a young age? I don't know anybody really, like, not anybody. I mean, I'm sure there's people, but there's not that many people. There was nobody I could go to. So there's not anybody that I can go to and say, hey, I'm feeling this way. What am I supposed to do? Mm-hmm. I just had to figure stuff out for myself. So that's what I did. And
at the time you were how old?
10.
And so you were living with your dad at the time?
Yeah, no, I was living with my dad.
And so how was it being raised by your father? I mean, what was your
I didn't even really know him. Like, he worked so much. I didn't even really know him for the first 10 years. I mean, I knew him somewhat, but I really got to know him after the 10 years. So it was like having two childhoods. I mean, it was really very strange, because it's like, here's this guy who came home at, 9 at night, and not anything bad, like my mom was there and stuff to whatever, but came home at 9, barely saw him or whatever, and from work, and then all of a sudden now this is a guy that I have to spend majority of the time with. It was strange,
Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at your tattoos. How many tattoos do you have? How do you decide where you put kitty cat, an alien, superstar? I mean, I don't know all these different tattoos that you have. How do you decide where they go, and how many do you have?
I got a lot. I lost count. I don't know. I just always kind of like, it got to a certain point. I got most of them a while ago, and then I recently got more where I was just like, I don't know. I think it's like, it's almost like lack of deciding.
Which of them are meaningful, and what do they mean?
I have to see.
So like, you have Pac-Man on your face. We have a Miss Pac-Man out here. What made you put that on your face?
I think that might have covered up a scar or something. So some of them covered up some like facial stuff that happened to me.
Really?
But I don't know. I just liked it. Sometimes I just like the art, but I get compliments on it. So a lot of the time people generally like it. But I just got it, put it on.
Nice. So you've worked with artists like Famous Dex. I know Famous Dex pretty well. How's he doing?
Good, I think.
Have you seen him? When was the last time you saw him? The last time I saw him, we were shopping in Beverly Hills, and I don't know if he remembered who I was. I mean, he knows who I am very well, but I think he was so out of it that day that I don't think he remembered who I was.
No, yeah, he's good. We saw him a couple months ago, and he was fine.
Okay, because he's had a public challenge with drugs, as a lot of rappers have. You do drugs, or have you done drugs?
Perhaps, on occasion.
But some people, I mean, he's been very vocal about it. Some people, they do it because it's part of their creative process. Some don't talk about it, and we never find out until it's too late. I just feel like in today's younger rap generation, drugs is like a really heavy part of the journey.
I think it always has been in music. I mean, I like watching a lot of like just stuff about old bands or musicians and stuff, and I think it's always been. I think if anything, people miled out a little bit. Some of the older bands and older performers were, I think, worse than anybody knew. I think now it's just you have social media, so everybody gets to see it every day.
But now you got fentanyl too.
That's true. I mean, but that's like, I mean, you can get test kits for that.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, off Amazon, deliver right to your house. So test it.
I don't have that level of drug education where I know where to get a fentanyl tester. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, it's good.
So then why are people still overdosing from fentanyl? They're just too lazy to get the test?
There's that, or like, like the untalked about thing is the people who like want to take fentanyl and they actually seek that out. I think that's the untalked about thing, like that, like, there's people who prefer fake perks and they would sit here, like maybe they wouldn't sit here on camera and say it, but if it was just a conversation between me and them, they would probably be like, yeah, no, the fake ones, they hit harder, they're cheaper, blah, blah, blah. They would swear by it.
Wait, there's fake perks that are more popular than perks themselves?
I mean, some people prefer it, yeah. I mean, that's what I've been told.
And people that know that fentanyl is killing people, because we've seen fentanyl kill a lot of the rappers that we know, they still would seek it out because of what? It's just the high,
I have no idea. I have no idea. I'm really a lightweight when it comes to that kind of stuff. I kind of always have been. Not to say I haven't done stuff, but it's just like, I have no idea. Like, that's a good question. That's like a philosophical question, almost like, why would you seek out something that might kill you? Maybe they want to die. I don't know. I mean, as dark as that sounds, like, sometimes people are so down low on a point, like they don't know how to get out of it. You know what I mean? So they just feel like, rather than do it themselves, they want to do it maybe slowly or just have a way that it doesn't, I don't know. Like, I'm not quite sure, that's kind of like, I'm not them, so it's really, it's really hard to tell.
So how do you navigate in the world of rap these days, or the type of music that you're doing these days, where you're around the people that are, heavily involved in those activities and still not succumb to it all?
Oh, easy. I do whatever I want to do when I want to do it. Hey, nobody's gonna make me do something just because they're doing that. Quite the opposite. I'm probably a worse influence than them. You know what I mean? Like, in some ways, because it's just like, I don't know. I've never been like, kind of like, I've always just done my own thing. Like, if like in any situation. So I think like I keep to myself a lot. So I think it's been easy to navigate with that kind of stuff, for sure. But I get it. There's peer pressure and people feel a certain way, but it's not because I hear somebody's doing something gonna make me want to do something more. No, never.
So why did you choose music? Out of all the things you could have done in the world, why music?
Oh, because it's the only thing I was good at, and I did it since such a young age. Like, I'm classically trained in flamenco guitar since like age 10. I play like 5-6 different instruments. So
including the cello.
Yeah, I started with that very young, and then moved on to guitar and drums and bass and like mandolin, piano, a bunch of different stuff. So it's like, I don't know. There's just nothing else that I've been making music forever, So just like, I just kind of got more popular recently, and just through like, more modern type of music. But I've been making music for a while.
So I know you work with Scott Storch, and you work with a lot of people that we know in music, but do you prefer the production side of the industry or artist, or do you like them both equally?
I mean, I'm really more of an artist, but I mean, I probably prefer to do everything myself, where I'm like kind of like involved in the production all the way through to being the artist, just because I don't think I'm a control freak, but I think it's just with like, I get ideas for songs with just hearing them in my head. So it's kind of like, sometimes when you involve other people in an idea that only you heard to begin with, it's kind of gets mixed up then, you know what I mean? So I think it's the best thing you can do is, carry the idea on your own,
Well, and Scott is such an iconic producer. How did you connect with him?
A cameraman introduced me to him. It was like my second song I made, and I was shooting a music video for it, just like a run and gun fun music video. And then this cameraman introduced me. He was like, "Oh, I gotta bring you to this guy's house." And this producer's house, and he didn't tell me who the producer was, and it just turned out it was Scott. So yeah. But
are you guys still creating together?
No, that's years ago. But I think like in interviews, they always ask me about it because his name is so big that it's like, you know, it's always funding to ask about.
Well, and he's a hit maker.
Yeah,
you know.
and it's kind of like, you know, was the early on in my career, so I think it's good like when people get to know me to know like, hey, that was a step that happened. You know, like I'm always, you know, moving on to steps, but.
So I see you have a lot of Instagram followers, a lot of people follow you on social media. How do you deal with trolls? I mean, when you're as tall as you are, as vibrant as you are, with tattoos on your face of teddy bears or kitty cats or whatever, I'm sure people have a lot of opinions.
It used to be way worse, for sure. It was way worse, and then I think like people eventually kind of left me alone. I also like, there was a time when I was way worse, so I would like come back at them and stuff, and I probably shouldn't have, you know, like. Just because I was younger and just naive, I didn't get that. Like a lot of the time, people are just looking for a reaction. So it's not like they might actually even like you. They just know by saying some fucked up shit that you're gonna look at.
You're gonna acknowledge them.
Yeah, more than like if they say something nice to you, you're just gonna, oh well, fuck that. You know what I mean? But if they say something like crazy to you, then it's like. You got, you know what I mean? You got to respond. So
that's why I'm so successful at Hollywood Unlocked. I say a lot of crazy shit.
Oh.
Because it gets, you know, not online. I'm not on, like, I don't go to social media. I just do it, you know, via my platform.
I get it.
All right, so how do you know Lil Uzi and Future?
Future just through one of my managers and stuff, just kind of like, and just really sending him music and then just like, just sending songs and then just like working. So,
have you been able to like meet and collaborate or?
Oh yeah, all these guys, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Future, we shot a couple of videos and stuff. I got more songs with him. I just didn't drop them yet because, I don't know.
I find Lil Uzi to be he's extremely entertaining. I mean, he's an entertaining individual. The last time I saw him, we were talking and I asked him for his number and he handed me his phone, and then as I was going to put my number in it, he snatched it and ran. But I mean, it was you just had to laugh because it was, you know, he's just funny.
Yeah.
Do you guys enjoy personal time together, like, and develop relationship, or is just like get in the studio working?
It's just work. I don't really know any. Like, I mean, I feel like some of these guys I could be more personal with, but I just always have kept it business and just like, hey, we got a song. The song's gonna come out. I'm not trying to mess it up because, you know, sometimes you get too close to people and then that's when stuff goes the bad side. But if you never get close, then it doesn't really go bad because it's like, well, you know, every time we talk, it's about business or what we're working on, you know, a piece of art more than something like.
So you don't have like celebrity friends?
No. I don't even have friends.
Really?
Nah.
Are you like a loner?
No.
So then why don't you have friends?
I got dogs and shit.
A dog, you can't really talk to a dog. I got two of them. One of them doesn't want to go downstairs.
That's the best part.
Right, not talking?
Yeah, just silence.
So you're not a loner?
Well, I mean, I gotta be around doing shit all the time.
Yeah.
So like, how could I be a loner if I'm not alone? You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, so.
But you intentionally choose not to have friends?
I don't know if I intentionally choose. I think it's just like, I just don't text and stuff. I think that's really the thing. Like, I just don't I hate texting. Like if I'm texting, it's important because I'll call people. You know, people don't really like to call.
Oh yeah, I don't like to call. I'm a texter.
I see. I think it's just like the phone's small and I just don't like it. It's just like, I don't know. It's
I'm not a caller. Okay, so if you don't have celebrity friends, then you can't get. How do you meet so are you interested in? Are you dating?
Well, you know, I get around. You know.
I mean, so does chlamydia, but like, what does that mean?
It's not hard. Like I'm young. It's not hard meeting people.
How old are you?
28.
Okay, well, I mean, you're youngish, but 28, you're in Hollywood or you're in Georgia. I mean, Sexy Red is out there talking about her booty hole's brown and, you know, whatever. Are you, what's your type of, if you had to date a celebrity chick, who would it date? Like who? Are there any that I mean, Sarah's off the list because she has baby on the way and she's good.
I don't know. I don't know what they're like personally. So it's like I would have to like meet them because like you from a picture or like a video, you could think you know somebody or something, and it's not really.
Yeah, but you know if you're into like a Chanel West Coast or a Sexy Red.
Probably neither of them, with all due respect. And I don't think
Chanel's a friend, ain't Chanel?
Oh, I mean, sorry, I don't know.
Okay.
But seems like a nice person. Just
she's
probably
great.
not.
She has a baby and a man anyway. Okay, so 28 years old, you're in an industry in a world that like mental health is a big conversation because of drug usage, people feeling isolated. COVID was something that my mental health stuff was going crazy because I felt like the world was closing down. I mean, do you focus on your mental health, and if so, how do you manage it?
Vitamins, like you gotta like eat the right stuff. It's honestly what you put into your body, I believe, is like 90% of that. So I think a lot of people like just either put too much processed sugar or they're just vitamin deficient. And then, especially like if we're stuck inside our house or people are feeling down or whatever, then it causes them to eat worse. And then they put, like worse fuel into their body, and then boom, like I'm not saying you gotta be like perfect or anything, but it's just like, if you're going and getting blood tests and they're saying like you're vitamin D deficient, no iron, like come on, like it's not that hard just to make the test go normal. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, it really is easy. But I think that people are lazy when it comes to their health.
Yeah.
One of the things I did here at Hollywood Unlocked, I got all of my staff a micronutrient panel. It literally will tell you all your levels of your minerals, your blood cells, and but you got to want to care to see that stuff and fix it.
No, that's dope though.
Yeah,
that's a nice gift.
Well, it was after one of our friends just died out of nowhere.
Oh,
all right, so you grew up with your family and had the unfortunate situation and lived with your dad. Did you grow up? Were you middle class? Were you poor? Did you guys have money? Privilege?
Variety. Like I would say, like as things started, like probably maybe like more working to then getting to more like middle to upper middle at the very end. Mm-hmm. To where now, my dad has a better job, but I'm an adult, so that's kind of a whole different thing. Now he's chilling, but it's just like, it's like, just a different situation. I'm not a kid anymore, so it's not like Christmas is gonna be big,
Right. Well, yeah, 28. Well, by 28, you should know Santa Claus isn't real.
Yeah,
you gotta be your own Santa Claus.
At that point, I feel like that's the time to like start doing stuff for the parents.
Right.
At least try.
So okay, so you're trained on all these instruments. You're working in the studio with rappers, trappers, and alike. And now you have a new project, Pop Star Degenerate. How did you come up with that name, and what's kind of motivating the music there?
Well, it was with an Atlanta producer, Tragic, and I just had like, I don't know, I just had thought of the name because it was like the music was very like poppy, but then like the subject matter was kind of bad. So like not bad, but just more, modern day people are very, like you said, are very crazy with subject matter. So I feel like that's where the idea came to that.
So who's on the album? Anybody that we know?
Yeah, a lot of like young up and coming people, like young Chris, young Fazo, Lil Got It, my artist Triller Kid, who I just signed not long ago. I'm trying to think.
And I saw you in pictures with Trippie Redd. How do you know him? Because Trippie, you still owe me a phone call. How do you know Trippie?
We have a song together that I just haven't dropped. I have like a lot of stuff that sometimes I'll just keep because like I'm a very like timing person, and like if the song is timeless, I'll be like, well, I could drop this in 5 years or I could drop this now, but the timing isn't right now. So, I gotta wait and like kind of like see it and then like, all right, now it's right, but sometimes it's not right.
But see, it's interesting you say that because I was talking to Joyner Lucas the other day about a song he did with Eminem that if it dropped right now would probably be the biggest song in the world because of the time that we're in right now, but it didn't drop properly back then and it's too late to drop now. So how do you decide when to drop the music? Is it just you have to feel it? Has to be what the people are talking about? When do you decide?
A little voice in the back of my head tells me to do anything, and just that first decision in the back of my mind is what I do. So maybe it's not the right decision, but It's just like I don't really second guess
You
myself.
should name that voice Clive Davis, because he knows when to drop music, but you know, he's an icon. You know who Clive Davis is?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Some people don't know who Clive Davis. Some people are in music. You'd be surprised. Like I asked somebody the other day, like name 3 Tupac songs. They were like, who? How do you listen to music? You don't know who Tupac is. You know?
And this was in California. You asked them?
Yes.
Damn.
Unacceptable. Yeah. Okay, so after music, when this is all said and done, and you retire from rap, what would you want to do?
I could do anything, I guess. I mean, maybe like have like a I collect vintage instruments, maybe like a vintage instrument store that sells instruments.
And you'd go there every day?
Yeah, why not?
Because then you have to deal with people.
No. I could like stock shelves and shit.
You ain't gonna own the damn thing and stock no shit. Oh, you mean you would work there, or you own it?
I could do both.
Oh, really? Okay.
That cuts down at least some hours, you know? Like, shit, that's one less employee I need to hire. That's less overhead.
I guess if you think about it that way. Okay, so where can people download the music now? And of course, we're gonna put your social media all throughout the interview so they know where to find you.
All platforms, like Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Tidal.
Ghostluvme is the artist name, and you also have a record label. You talked about one of the artists that you signed. What's the name of the label?
High and Mighty Entertainment.
And what type of talent are you looking for to sign there? Because I know people ask me all the time to launch a label or to sign them or manage them. I'm not interested in any of that. But if you're doing it, where could people reach out to you?
Through social media. Like I found my artist and he had already reached out to me, and then I don't know, like he just had a certain sound that I knew was marketable, but I felt like what people were doing with him was not like, just you got to put money into an artist, you know, and it's just the sad truth. If you're not putting money into an artist, a lot of time they won't develop, you know, because we're in just such like a, you know, that's just the industry.
Well, yeah, I mean, I feel like the market's so oversaturated with talent too, and the labels are pushing a lot of money in their artists.
Labels are pushing crazy money into artists. So, you know, to compete with that, you know, you got to have something different, but you also have to know the right avenues, and then also push at least some money yourself, which is going to, you know, be a substantial amount. So I think, I don't know, I just really look for things that stick out, you know what I mean? Like as far as stuff, I mean, like I said, I have one artist, so that's really it, and some other stuff that's working on, but, you know, most of the time it just has to be something that would like almost slap me in the face, you know, because it's like I'm not trying to carry so many artists that then none of them develop. Like every artist that I would want to work with would be somebody that I want to develop or to get them a major or to get them to a point that they're happy with, you know, not to a point to where they just are like, oh man, give up and then have to go work a normal job after having no history of working, and that's not good, you know. So
well, listen, make sure you check out Ghostluvme on all platforms. Download the music, follow on social media, and slide in Trippie Red's DMs and show him this interview and ask him where he's at, because it's time to pull up. Well, thank you for coming and keep killing it, bro.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
We're out of here. Peace.